The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan with you with the weekly perspective for the week ending 5 July 2019. Well, for the U.S. types, it was a happy 4th of July yesterday, but back to business today. As I normally do, I'm going to start with the overall U.S. markets. And there was a strong job reports number sent today, and that sent the bond yields higher. And that might diminish a hope for a July rate cut. We'll have to wait and see. The rising yields are boosting banks and financials. Citigroup just completed a cup and handle formation at 69.9, broke through it to the upside. And a stronger dollar is putting profit taking on the gold market, which I'll get back to later in this update. First up, here the headline is, forget the G20, global manufacturing recession is here. Despite the great job numbers I just reported and all the great news or great spin you hear from the mainstream press, this article gets to the chase right away at the bottom here. After more than $20 trillion of stimulus, massive deficit spending, and large incentives to increase capex and debt, manufacturing indexes are in contraction. Businesses have plenty of available capital at low cost, but face the prospect of weakening demand and zombification, so manufacturing is showing one of the worst side effects of cheap money: stagnation from debt saturation and widespread excess capacity. Folks, I hate to sound like a broken record, but that's the truth. You come to my channel for it, and regardless of this great, gold down, stocks getting to new highs, everything is wonderful, happy smile, look at the jobs report, blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter, I just read you in that one paragraph. And adding a little to what I just said, this is stock market news today. Headline reads, new orders for U.S.-made goods fell for a second straight month in May. U.S. factory orders fell for a second straight month. New orders for U.S.-made goods fell for a second straight month in May, while shipments barely rose, pointing to continued weakness in manufacturing. And, of course, again, we're focusing on today with the jobs report, but nonetheless, the manufacturing industry in the U.S. is not humming along, although you hear words to the contrary. Next up is a long article. It's really an interview with Naked Capitalism is a website. Michael Hudson discusses the IMF and the World Bank partners in backwardness. And I agree with most of what Michael Hudson has to say. He's been interviewed on RT many times. He is a good thinker. And again, I wouldn't say I agree with every single point he makes, but most of the major ones I do. I'm not going to read you the whole interview, but I think it's important to point out what the start of this article has to say, and then you can read this for yourself. Again, it's at Naked Capitalism. But here we go. The purpose of military conquest is to take control of foreign economies and to take control of their land and impose tribute. The genius of the World Bank was to recognize that it's not necessary to occupy a country in order to impose tribute or to take over its industries and agriculture and land. Instead of bullets, it uses financial maneuvering. As long as other countries play an artificial economic game that the U.S. diplomacy can control, finance is able to achieve today what used to require bombing and loss of life by soldiers. So that's the start of it. Well said, well written. You can read the article. I suggest you do. The interview, I should say. And for those that are like to expand their consciousness on the real financial system and what's really going on, I suggest you have a look. And, of course, you can read the comments as well, because there's always a different point of view. We're going to go ahead and try to keep this one shorter than normal and move right into the gold and silver markets. And I'll be back with you next week. This is from the GATA website. Central banks, bullion banks, losing control of gold, GATA chairman says. This is an interview done by Silver Doctors that interviewed the GATA chairman, Bill Murphy, that said that the central banks and their agent bullion banks seem to be losing control of the gold market. But silver remains under their thumb, and the interview is 21 minutes long. And if you are inclined to watch it, you can go to gata.org and look it up. I would say it remains to be determined. Looking at the Commitment of Traders report, which I'll do an update for our members here next week, is not looking good as far as longer-term prospects for gold are, meaning that a lot of new contracts are written in this big move up. And there'll be more and more pressure to the downside from the commercials. When the open interest gets this high, normally it is an indication that it isn't going to go a lot higher. Not that it can't move somewhat higher, but at basis the COT, the commitment traders. I'll go through more detail for our members. Coming back on target, gold has definitely made a breakout, 1360 level. Probably will be tested, probably not down into that exact number. I expect to see a trading range probably around 1380 to 1400. It seems to like to handle the 1400 level basically. Pretty good sell-off today, Friday, as I'm doing this perspective. But I think the gold market is absolutely real. It's a breakout, not a fake out. And there are a lot of reluctant people that are kind of waiting on the sidelines to make sure that it is a real breakout. Silver really hasn't participated, but it will. I think, again, the people that are kind of on the sidelines and making sure are waiting before they commit funds into this market. And, of course, it's a daily trader. There's a lot of trades done in the precious metals and all these financial markets on a daily basis. And, therefore, you're getting more and more price volatility all the time. And one of our members pointed out an article that came out recently regarding electronic waste. I'm going to read a couple of the key paragraphs here because this is, I believe, an opportunity that really only the Morgan Report subscribers are really aware of. There are others, of course, but there isn't anyone else in the industry that has really featured this, although there's a lot of, let's say, top-tier mining companies that are aware of it on a non-disclosure agreement basis. Regardless, let me just talk about this electronic waste. Electronic waste processing is an industry that hasn't seen much innovation or disruption for decades. Sure, the industry has improved and evolved, but it's longing for a fundamental change. Today, this industry still relies on energy-consuming traditional shredding and mapping processes carried out by expensive, colossal machines. Printed circuit boards are chopped up into smaller particles for separation to overwhelmingly contaminated downstream processes. In other words, there needs to be a better way. And of course, I'm going to skip some paragraphs, but you know what that's leading to. A better way. And this is, of course, this company that I've been featuring for quite some time now has. For example, experts say that there's more gold in 1 ton of cell phones than in 1 ton of ore. 80 times more, in fact. Responsibly recycling this electronic waste provides the opportunity to extract valuable materials, gold, copper, and others, for reuse while preventing the negative environmental impact if they were disposed of improperly. In addition, it is the fastest and most economical way of reusing materials. Just a quick online search will show you the numerous companies that have had to pay millions in fines in mismanaging electronic waste, whether they played a direct role in the waste management or not. The issue is clear. The supply chain for end of life is not as well developed as the manufacturing front. The lack of timely visibility is a big challenge. Sometimes there isn't any. Many companies don't clearly understand their assets and products throughout the recycling process, or when they do, it's too late. This makes it incredibly difficult to integrate everything from the assets to their operations together. It comes down to data. Better electronic waste data leads to better management, more innovation, and regulation, but it doesn't stop there. A part of the industry's product mindset change, we must also recognize that recycling shouldn't be a separate industry or a different segment. It's just part of the supply chain, the chain ecosystem. And there are great supply chain solutions out there for manufacturing for front end that can reuse what we could consider the back end, or in other words, e-waste recycling. And again, this company that I'm reading from would be one of the suppliers to the company that I featured in the Morgan Report. Managing e-waste is more than recycling. Thinking about the current status of electronic waste and many of the players, there's an element missing from the recycling solutions: scale. With e-waste management, companies deal with a fragmented set of service providers that lead to inconsistent experiences. As a result, brands are looking for service providers with advanced supply chain capabilities, tools, and techniques to manage the e-waste ecosystem for them. And again, from the company's website I'm reading this from, is one of the stalwarts in this industry, bar none. And of course, it's been with this small company that I've featured from basically the very, very start. So, as I said earlier, gold, I'm convinced we're in a breakout, not a fake out. Silver's just moved somewhat. The gold-silver ratio is still at extreme in the 90s, 92, whatever. But I just want to talk about some of the new uses for silver. First of all, on the back of what I just went over, the 2020 Olympic medals will be made from recycled electronic waste. Think about that. The Olympic medals, the gold, silver, bronze medals, will be made at the 2020 Olympics from recycled electronic waste. So there's going to be more and more awareness to not only this company that I featured in the Morgan Report, but electronic waste as a whole, because a lot of this precious metal is going into landfills, and it doesn't have to, especially with proper management, is what I read you in that last paragraph. Silver beats copper as a catalyst to transform greenhouse gases. Silver's aerogels keep nuclear stockpiles secure. This is an interesting article from the Silver Institute. And the last one that's important is a smart pill utilizing silver can prevent tampering and drug abuse. A smart pill bottle that sends a wireless alert when it detects tampering, improper use, or unsafe storage conditions of the medicine inside. Temperature and humidity, as an example, is made possible by an adhesive that contains silver particles sandwiched between two layers of copper tape. This is just one of many, many uses that you find out almost every third, fourth month coming from the Silver Institute and other sources that talk about what's going on in the silver world, usually from an industrial aspect. But there are lots of uses for silver developed all the time. This is one, tamper-proof, a medicine bottle, and there's others in this report. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back with you next Friday, the 12th of July. And until then, we should see some more volatility in all these markets. Stock market looking strong, gold looking strong, probably going to be testing the support level in the not too distant future. But on balance, I think we're going to see a change by the end of the year, meaning higher precious metals prices and lower equity prices. Till next week, this is David Morgan. Hello, I'm David Morgan, publisher of the Morgan Report, and as some of you may already know, the Morgan Report is about money, metals, and mining. In fact, we cover all resources from rare earth elements to precious metals. I've been publishing on the internet for about 20 years. My primary passion is to help people build and preserve their wealth. I love to make people millionaires. I've helped thousands of people via our research in the Morgan Report, which has thousands of paid members and 10 times that amount on our free weekly updates. Here's what you'll receive from our free newsletter. To-the-point webinars, weekly analysis of the financial markets, interviews and our conference schedule, special reports such as riches and resources, and various metals price forecasts. Our paid service client base is primarily small to medium-sized business owners, professionals in the industry, or the seasoned investor who understands markets and the value of precious metals. My area of expertise includes equity analysis throughout the resource sector, energy metals, base metals. We cover startups to billion-dollar corporations. We focus on a special sector that makes money regardless of price oscillations, and the importance of precious metals due to the ongoing currency devaluations. Our team of 3 analysts and support staff can help you build and protect your wealth. It's important for you to know what other people have said. We're passionate about what we do. High integrity and trust. Tell the truth and own it. If we're wrong, we admit it. Take a long-term outlook with major assets and bet a little to win a lot with speculative situations. If you choose to become a client, you will gain financial insights very few, even professionals, recognize. You'll understand the importance of honesty in our financial system. You will understand how the money system influences almost everything in your life. You'll be prepared for the ongoing currency crisis. And finally, I've chosen to make my life's mission greater than the individual, which means my mission statement is to teach and empower people to understand the benefits of an honest monetary and financial system. It's been a great journey so far, and the best gains in this sector lie ahead over the next 3 to 5 years. I'm fortunate to have earned the status of being a leading authority in my field in helping others protect their wealth. You can email me at support@themorganreport.com or call my office at 480 325 0230.